Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allows you to record and edit your broadcast so it sounds great. And they even distribute your broadcast for you so that it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello everyone, and here are your news for this week. Join host Andrew FRETT every Friday on our podcast for his show, Let's Fret About Education, where he interviews amazing guests and discusses his own opinions and thoughts about the topics on Future Educators Talk and what's happening around the world. Follow and subscribe to my own podcast, Damian Talks Education, everywhere you stream your podcast at, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. New episodes of Future Educators Talk drops on Thursdays, so follow and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Follow Future Educators Talk on social media: Facebook, Future Educators Talk, Instagram at Future Educators Talk, and on Twitter at Future Ed Talk. So follow our podcast. And follow your host of Future Educators Talk on social media. You can follow me, Damian Anderson, on Instagram at @DamianAnderson and on Twitter at _Damian Anderson. You can follow Andrew FRETT on Instagram at @It'sAndrewFRETT and on Twitter at Darren_Fret. And you can follow KJ Johnson II on Instagram at KJJohnsonII and on Twitter at KJJohnson11 or II. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Future Educators Talk, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of our video version episodes that we upload. Also, you can now listen to past episodes of our show on our YouTube channel and on all the podcast platforms that we are located at. Now sit back and relax because a new episode of Future Educators Talk is starting now.
Welcome to Future Educators Talk with your hosts, Damian Anderson, Andrew FRETT, and KJ Johnson II. Always remember, we are future educators.
All right, welcome to Future Educators Talk. Welcome back with another brand new episode. I know it's a lot different now, but we have a brand new opening. But on today, for this special episode, we have a surprising guest. I'm going to let Damian talk about this person. Since you know a lot about this person.
Yes, absolutely. So what I decided, and then I believe I talked with you guys, that I want, some of our friends to come on this podcast and just, to share with all of us of how we became friends with this person, how we know them, what do they do, how do they think of our podcast here, and so much more. And since we're also bringing on some of our former teachers on as well, but I truly want to bring on some of my friends to see what do they think of what I am doing here. I have a podcast now. I am speaking up more, and I want to know what do they think of me. It's kind of a shocking for them because, like I mentioned earlier into the season, in past seasons, that I'm a shy person. I didn't talk much during my school years. And since that is over with, it is time for me to use my voice. So they're probably gonna be shocked by this. So I want to see what they think of this. But to get that out of the way, we have my friend on today, and I've been knowing this person here since elementary school and then he came back with us during the high school years. So I enjoy being around this person, and you guys will love this person as well. And my former classmates, you're probably gonna be shocked of who I am bringing on. But today's guest is one of my good friend and old classmates, Nathan McAdory. So let's bring him on now, shall we? So very excited, and he is joining us now. Let him get his audio ready. You guys
give me just a second.
All right. Getting it together. Don't you guys just love technology? Mm-hmm. I certainly do. Me and Andrew, we just
yeah, especially for my math virtual lesson that happened on Monday. Gotta love technology, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we are recording this episode on a Sunday, so I'm gonna try not to preach in this episode. I'm gonna try not to, but I can't guarantee that. So I'm gonna try not to preach in this episode since today is Sunday. So we'll see how this episode goes.
There's I would say a 75% chance I might preach on today. Again, I'm with Damian. There might be a slight possibility, but you never know. So because today's Sunday, so
so why not?
You never know what happened. You'll see what happens.
Yeah.
While he is getting ready, while he's just
well, here he is now.
Bad time. Gotta take care of something.
Oh, it's fine. Hello, Nathan, and welcome to Future Educators Talk. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty convenient time. Everybody just left, so I got the whole place to myself.
Okay.
They got class. They do something for Sundays at their college, and you go to stay with me.
Yes, I certainly do. And you are one in one of my classes, the history class. So yeah,
the late history class, I think. The modern American history.
Yes. So let's get this started here. Andrew, I'm going to let you start us off first.
Well, of course, I'm gonna take the reins over here. So of course, you don't know me, Nathan, but my name is Andrew. I am one of the co-hosts of Future Educators Talk. I brought along Damian onto this podcast as because we share the same value together. We want to be a future educator. We also want to see a change as well, because we have seen a whole lot of things that is going on, and we decided to speak out on it. So
you're the original creator. I thought Damian was.
Yes, I am. I am the original creator of Future Educators Talk.
And I'm kind of like the vision behind it of what topics we're going to discuss. So yeah, Andrew, he's the creator of this. Nathan, he's the creator of this.
Yep, the one and only. So I created the podcast, and I decided to invite Damian along this 4-season journey. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about you. Tell me about yourself, or tell the listeners or the viewers about yourself.
Well, I'm pretty much just a simple guy, like pretty much like both of you, I think. Kind of just a skinny 20-year-old guy. I think you're probably like 20. Damian's 19, I think. But I also like pretty much if I was going to consider a career, it'd be teaching. That's always what I've been told, especially. So next year I'll probably be going to Martin and getting a degree in education of some sort. Like even my girlfriend, she's got her degree or getting her degree in education. She's my age too. But really that's about it. And both of you, I'm guessing you just met entirely online. Yeah, I don't remember Damian. He didn't like to. He's kind of like me. He didn't like going to parties or anything like that and socializing with too many people. Doesn't mean he doesn't socialize, or doesn't mean I don't socialize. Just definitely not a big crowd person.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you on that. Yeah, totally.
So do you know what education that you are interested in, or are you just like exploring around right now?
Probably more just exploring, but I'm pretty well rounded. Like Damian, I don't think you remember me being stupid or anything. Like a lot of those classes people are like I kind of like excelled in, and I was pretty good at school, answering a lot, especially history and science. That's about my strong points. Kind of just like information and facts. Like I spend a lot of my time honestly watching educational YouTube videos and stuff. Nothing too formal, but just like crash course biology or whatever, stuff like that. Always room to learn.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we got some future educators in the building, y'all. We got 2 math educators at history/science. Y'all better look out, because y'all better look out.
Yeah, I'm jealous if you guys are real good at math. I'm not saying I'm necessarily bad at it. I just don't think I could like excel in it, because if I had like a natural tendency to it, I'd probably like to do physics. I'd probably like to teach physics and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that gives you like a real good reputation. But Damian, are you real good at math, or you just what grade you teaching? Like,
yes. I am really good in math. Throughout my high school career and middle school, I've been really good with math. So that's what I want to do once I become a teacher, is to teach math. The grade level will be 8th grade. I want to handle the teenagers. I can't handle the little kids, or even much like us if we was still in school. Like so teenagers, I can work with them. I can work with them. So 8th grade for me, Nathan. 8th grade for me.
I may be around where I would teach, but I don't know. Also, high school seems interesting. I don't know. I'd probably do switching around. I probably wouldn't stay at a public school teaching for my entire life. I might want to do a private school. I may just want to switch around. It's completely different atmospheres. I'll tell you that. I don't know if either of y'all been at private school, but I've been at private school. I've been a Peabody, and I've been a St. Augustine, which is a private school.
So I want to ask you this. Since you mentioned Peabody, our high school, when you first, because you was with us in elementary school, and then you left, and then you came back, probably 9th grade, I believe.
Or actually 11th. Yeah, 11th.
Yeah, 11th grade. So what decided you to come back? That's what I want to know, because when you first came back, I was like completely shocked, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I have to, like, Chandler, he was like, Damian, that's Nathan is back, and I was like, who? And then I looked at you, and I was like, I can't picture the face. I can't picture the face. And Chandler just keep on asking me, Damian, you know Nathan, he was with us back at elementary school. And I just couldn't picture your face, Nathan. I'm sorry. That was my first reaction.
You were really shy. And I was like wondering why, like, because we were really good friends in 4th grade. Yeah. We were really good friends. But you kind of just like, just wouldn't talk to me at all like the first week or two, and then like we got acquainted again when some woman on the baseball field kept bending over, and we just just being the immature teens that we were, just kept laughing.
Gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, that was my first reaction of you there. But I want to ask you this, like what decided you to come back to
well, it's
Trenton
just
in the
kind of
first
like a
place?
completely closed off atmosphere at St. Augustine. Like even where the school is located, it's pretty secluded. It's kind of like in the woods, really. It used to be even more like isolated. Uh, but like a lot of the opinions and like a lot of just the curriculum and I don't know what else to call it, but you'd pretty much just like there wasn't really, since it's such like a 100 people school, you really didn't have many different opinions over there. It was pretty much you only think this way. Now not necessarily in a bad way, because like I've learned a lot from that place. Helped me build a lot of Christian character and just like a lot of character to begin with, but it was just more of a, like I could definitely have made a lot better friends and stuff at Peabody, like I did, and I'm glad I did. It's coming over to Peabody because also I was getting kind of lazy because the schoolwork was getting real hard, and about that time in my life, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and certainly doing homework at 16 was like, for some reason, made me more stressed out than it would at 13. So I just wanted to go to Peabody. I just wanted to see my old friends, see a different atmosphere, because I didn't feel like I was really getting anywhere at St. Augustine. The only thing that got me was your school Peabody was real easy to me then. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just kind of like a closed off conservative atmosphere. It was supposed to be like a classical school too, so like it was really out of touch with the world, very, very out of touch with the world. Not like in a real bad way, but still, it's definitely nice being able to interact with much different people at a much different place, especially because Peabody's just like a couple minutes from my house, as opposed to having to drive to Jackson and forth. So just so much more easy, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was.
and I definitely got a lot of time to laugh at Peabody. That was for sure. And you really didn't. You were not too much opportunities to laugh at a serious-minded school, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we definitely did some laughing, didn't we, Damian?
Oh yes, we did. Fun memories, fun memories.
Yes, sir. Senior year.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started. Oh gosh.
So it wasn't like that tight knit family at St. Augustine versus at Peabody.
I guess it was kind of more like a family at St. Augustine compared to Peabody, because so much smaller classes and everything. But like I said, if you kind of like didn't fit their description, you were outcasted like I was. And I was still fairly outcasted at Peabody. Like I'm hopefully you guys like are like particular about where you share this and stuff at, because like some people at Peabody really hate me for some reason. I mean, I'm sure they got their reasons, but generally I don't harm anybody, and I don't mean to, and I don't go out trying to ruin people's lives. But there's definitely some people, like regardless of who you are, like I'm sure there's some people that even hate Damian or whatever. But yeah, like sometimes you got to deal with it. Like people just don't like the way you look or whatever,
Absolutely.
They'll just come up to you like, I don't like you. I think we all know how that is, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We probably all had scenarios like us just minding our own business, reading in the library, and somebody comes up to us and just makes some snarky comment, and stupid joke, and not everybody takes it.
No.
But I'm pretty good at like humoring people. I always like the opportunity to laugh and see somebody make a fool of themselves, because I can always outwit most people. I'm sure you guys probably can too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sixth grade on the bus. Won't forget that day. Some of those people start messing with my book bag on the bus. Can't do it.
I'm so glad I did not go to middle school though, at a public school, because I hear middle school is always usually the worst environment anyway. It always is. People are the worst in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Just that period in time, and then people start leveling off in high school, thankfully, and maturing a little more. But middle school is rough, and so yeah,
Yeah.
It's easy to take things real personally when you're in middle school too. So like, you getting your things like possessed by other people, and you're on this crowded bus, and it's already stressful enough as it is, and you're not mentally capable of even taking much trauma to begin with, and I don't know. It just, I definitely probably would have gone home crying like every day. Now I'm all grown up and I don't even have the ability to cry.
But it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. Just
no, I just don't get sad by much.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Andrew, question?
I was about to say your name, Damian.
Go back and forth.
Well, I guess that's what we're doing. So I have a question for you is what are the most important lessons that you have learned in your life?
Well, there's just so many things out there. It's always more of a gradual process for me in learning things, rather than there just being like one moment to wake me up. But gosh, I really wish I could I don't ever really think about like what's the most influential thing that happened in my life. Well, I probably can when I've been to some other countries. Like the first time I went to another country, I went to 4 other countries, and it was like a school trip at my old school. So that was like a real enlightening experience. And then like I come back to Peabody, which I don't know, a lot going on that year. So, there's another thing. So probably what was your question exactly again though? Before I kind of got everywhere.
So what are the most important lessons that you have learned in your life?
Well, probably that everything is not about me. That's for one. Because like that same year I was telling you about, I don't know if Damian remembers or not, but like for like 2 weeks or so, I wasn't at school, and that's because I had an attempted suicide back in October of 2017. And me like failing, and then like going to a place, and then like learning how much people cared about me, and seeing how worse that other people have it than me by far. That was a real important lesson, I would say. And I definitely learned, had like good kick in the head like after that as well too. Like every day life is a different lesson. That's what life is for, I guess.
You may have some downs, but you get right back up and just move forward.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, Nathan. And I remember that day as well, where you was out, and I totally feel you on that. And I don't know if you know this or not, if you haven't been listening to our podcast, but I have been in that same position that you was of committing suicide, and this was last year. And I'll talk about it a lot on this.
Really recently? You attempted suicide recently, or within the
Well,
past year or so?
yeah, the past year, 2019, um, and I'll constantly talk about this on this podcast here, where I was in a state last year. I was going to college. And I was so very excited for that, so very excited for that to start the next chapter of my life. And once I got there, I just felt quite
Overwhelmed.
strange. I just
Yeah.
didn't,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I just didn't feel right with myself. So I came back home, and then I was quite fine when I came back home the first couple of days. But then that following week, it just hit me. Like I stay in this room here. I didn't want to be around no one. And I had so much things that went inside my head that I just wanted to end it all. I wanted to end it all. And thankfully, I didn't do that because I have friends like
Yeah.
Andrew and Chandler, and then my family members that really care about me. So I totally feel you on that, Nathan. So yeah.
Yeah, like when I first got out of high school, I immediately like uh went to work that summer, just working outside all day and like some scalding hot temperatures and stuff like that. And eventually, I guess maybe the heat got to my head, and I was kind of like obsessing about a lot of things, kind of like wishing I could go back to high school. Not necessarily because I hated like uh life after high school. It just like felt weird, and I felt like I really didn't get anything like fulfilled out of high school. I didn't like I didn't actually really get a girlfriend until after high school. I didn't really progress socially or anything like that in high school. I just hated it, and I wish I could have like been on up there, I guess, with a lot of other people and been more agreeable and people like me more. But no, people still just don't like me, and I've changed a good bit. You know, I've definitely learned more self control since 2 years ago, or more like a year and a half ago when high school ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, those first few months when you first get out of high school and you don't know how to adapt to anything, and you're like, what's going on now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a and you get out there in the big old cold world. It's really different, that's for sure. I could have afforded to doing a lot more stupid things back in high school like than now. Like it seems like in high school you got a lot more time to actually, besides like when you're in school, you got a lot more time to just actually go out and socialize and
Yeah.
do stupid things like drinking or speeding on the road, or stuff that college kids do or notorious for doing. And that's the stuff like that I did after high school rather than during high school. I was kind of like try to be one of the good kids, but if I could go back, I'd probably get some more fun out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
hmm
Absolutely.
And, yeah, and I definitely cared a lot about what people thought of me, even though I was still like lower socially than most people. I still like took it real personally, like when somebody insult me, and as opposed to like now, I don't give a crap. I would just insult you right back because you. I'll be like, I may look funnier, but you look funnier than I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Absolutely. I
yeah,
totally.
I've definitely changed too. Like I don't even have acne anymore. Remember that was like a big
Mm,
insecurity I definitely had, and people just
mm.
find the stupidest things they can to pick out about you and bother
Yeah.
you with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and what you just mentioned about you don't give a crap no more of what people think of you. That's with me as well. Back in high school,
We got
yeah,
more emotions back then too. Anyway, you're just younger, and you just got more of those emotions. I kind of
mm,
miss them, that's for sure, but I also don't
mm-hmm.
miss being sad and stuff like that too. I
Oh,
remember you could probably things make you happier back then, but also things make you sadder back then. And
yeah,
that's what a lot of young people need to realize too, is that they're not necessarily overreacting, but there's definitely going to be more like better times in your life, and uh, going to be like not everything's going to be so low for you. Like for some people, it just is in high school. It's this constant tormenting and whatsoever for some people. I don't necessarily seen it as that bad in Peabody particularly, but like I've definitely heard some pretty awful bullying stories
Yeah.
that people, like that still go on today. And about everything too. Like you can be completely ostracized still for, being like the only African American or something in a classroom or whatever. I mean, I didn't see much racism personally in Peabody, but like you can be picked out for that. You can still be picked out for your religion. You can be really discriminated against for a lot of things, and it's kind of like easy to do in high school than you can in the real world to just bother and pick on somebody because we got laws and stuff now. You go to jail if you hit somebody in the real world, but not really in high school.
Yeah.
It's like you get a detention or ASO, or I don't know what y'all call it at Peabody, but we call it ASO, or you get a out of school suspension if you do that.
If we just did anything at Peabody, you just get sent to this kind of like quiet room where you can just watch TV all day. It's called ISS. It's such a joke.
I always wanted to know because people always talk about that all the time. I never been in ISS. Like
I know you've never been in there.
like what was this like? Because I've been hearing people like they don't do no work in there. Y'all watch movies. Like what kind of ISS is this?
They will send you over there for not doing work, and you don't do work over there in ISS.
And then when the student come back with their work they haven't did it, and the teacher gets all mad. I was like, well, I don't know what have they been doing all this time. So now I know. Now I know what's ISS at Peabody now. Yeah.
Oh well, now you know. Now you know.
So now I am looking at my Zoom. We have a minute left because we are on the basic, but we're going to keep this going. So I'm going to end this now, and then I will invite y'all back on so we can continue on talking because it's going to end once this timer goes off. So I'm going to end this now, and then I will invite y'all back on. Is that okay with you?
Like immediately? All right. Yeah, I don't really got anything to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me end this now, and I will invite y'all back on in a few minutes.
All right.
All right. Welcome back to Future Educators Talk. We are here with the one and only Nathan. So we apologize for that for the last thing. So let's continue this interview, this discussion.
Yes. So my question to you, Nathan, is what's something that people seem to quite misunderstand about you?
Well, I have ADHD, and that's one thing I've been diagnosed with, but I never really acted out too bad or really anything to like get the attention or to have ever gotten the attention of like my family members to see if there's anything wrong with me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I get really, or especially used to get really hyperactive, and it makes me more likely to do impulsive decisions and stuff that will make situations even worse. My humor is kind of like, not because of the ADHD, but a lot of things just seem funny to me. So that's one thing I'm glad about myself is I have I have a sense of humor at least that encompasses a lot of things. But some people might seem like me not listening very well, or me kind of just like laughing at a lot of things is like a sign of like low intelligence or just childish behavior. But on a lot of ways, I'm a lot more mature than a lot of other people who portray themselves as mature are, because you know I don't go out doing as near as bad dumb things as they do. I know what's dumb, but I know what's something that you absolutely should not do, and I don't go out and like participate in real stupid activities. But still, I'm kind of like likely maybe to get in your face and annoy you a little bit, but I never like intend harm or just like intend at picking at anybody to get a severe reaction out of them. Now, if you already reacted and like a lot of other people, it's kind of you kind of sometimes can't help but to try to like get a reaction out of somebody and you know make them laugh or whatever, but or make yourself laugh. That's just how a lot of people are. Like, I'm sure I've done it a lot of times to you, Damian, but I've never like intended harm. If,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. Yeah, I absolutely know. Yeah, we are good friends, and yeah, I know you don't mean no harm to me, which is fine. So yeah,
yeah, but that's one thing that a lot of people just don't understand, especially about ADHD to begin with, is like I quit taking all medication for it because it was just killing me. It just like a lot of medications just don't work for me. I'm pretty much best just avoiding everything and just being completely just natural in myself. Because I don't know, it seems like everything I take, everything I partake in has severely like negative consequences for me. Like I don't even take antidepressants because God knows what they were doing to me. So I just quit taking them, even if I was prescribed them. But a lot of things what people don't understand about ADHD is that it is like far more prescribed than it needs to be, or diagnosed than it needs to be. Especially the medicine is far more prescribed than it needs to be, and that is what leads to abuse and stuff. But I'm like a candidate, as you could say, of what a real ADHD person seems like and acts like. Especially if I get comfortable around you. If you're my friends and all that, like you really know my true personality and like how I conduct myself and everything. Uh, but I'm by no means dangerous or anything like that,
yeah,
or crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And you probably, I don't know, you probably think for me that I thought that you were crazy, but no, no, no,
No,
yeah, I
none of my
don't,
friends I think actually think I'm crazy.
yeah,
I don't think any of my. I think my friends completely. Basically, all my friends that have been close to are real accepting people, and I'm a real accepting person myself. But those are just the people I get along with, people that can really tolerate you.
Andrew would have anything to say.
Um, it's really important to have those people in your life, really, because unlike what we talked about earlier, um, them negative people will bring you down. And, it's really important to just be yourself and just accepting of who you are as a person. And those people around you will start, accepting of who you are. And those of you and those friends that don't, um, again, we've said this many, many times in future education, but it's you can leave. Like the door is
Yeah,
waiting for you because we don't have time. We don't have the essence to have negative people in our life right now, because we want to grow as a person. We want to just be successful and just be of who, just be ourselves, really.
You can pretty much only handle, or especially for me, like I've kicked like basically all toxic people out of my life, like, and it doesn't bother me at all. I
Mhm.
just like one day realized like, hey, these are the same losers I've been hanging out with high school, And you don't need that. I don't need 50 friends or whatever anyway. So it's pretty good to just like have 3 reliable friends. That's all you really need.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not. I mean, I've had some toxic people steal from me, take advantage of me, ask for all sorts of stupid favors, borrowing money, and a lot of times I'll be dumb enough to give into it. But I've had a breaking point this year with like when I got like my car scraped, it just kind of like bending over backwards or somebody, and like I'm never doing this again. Like I'm not helping anybody out that is absolutely just unworthy of it. The people you should help out are, your loved ones and those who will help you out in return. And will not question it.
Yeah. Positive people in your life,
Absolutely. See, I'm about to not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Let's
Just
not do it,
yet.
Andrew. Let's not do it. Let's not do it.
Not quite. Hold on, just a second. But I will say, yes, absolutely, because I have those people in my life as well. Because I truly believe in that philosophy. Like, if I scratch your back, then you should scratch mine. That's all it is.
Or at least you should be willing to scratch my back.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't always have to put in 50% of the friendship or whatever, because that just like gets, why you need to be tracking all that, just be friends and stuff. Just do things for each other. Like, if I wanted to bring you guys all Sonic milkshakes, I'm sure you guys would maybe sometime for me or whatever, but I'm not asking that you do it. I'm just doing it like an act of kindness.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what we need right now in the world now, is some kindness to happen.
I'd say the biggest thing we need for each other is respect, which goes hand in hand with kindness, of course, but just respect. Like, definitely, to some degree, everything is fine. But like when you indulge in just so many things, like just, for example, like I've had a quote unquote friend that just loved messing with people, just like getting in their personal space, and like she was a real cool person to hang out with, or kind of like entertaining, I guess. But a lot of toxic people are kind of like just are entertaining and can be fun to be around, but at the same time they're not. But this person was like just insulting everybody, just constantly insulting you to your face, this person, that person, that just everything, but could not like tolerate criticism right back at her. And I just don't see how like anybody like that gets around, or how most people won't tolerate that for very long. I think those are generally called like, or not per se, but it kind of like is a psychopathic characteristic, and psychopaths are like real good at like getting what they want temporarily until people figure out who they are. And then when that happens, they have to go somewhere else, maybe even like find a completely different social group and far away, maybe, because, word gets around that, hey, this person is not a good person. This person, but there's always like gullible people out there who, generally rumors aren't like necessarily true or good thing, but I don't know. I think most people are generally trustworthy, but so that's kind of like why I might be gullible too. But I've definitely heard like some bad things about some people well before, they were ever even in my life and taking advantage of me. But but it's still always good to give some people a shot. But just maybe keep your eye out on them and don't let them get the best of you. Then as soon as I'm pretty good now at telling when somebody's trying to take advantage of me. I'll be like, nope, not having any of it. Yep. You get my benefits once you earn my trust, and I know you're trustworthy.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you this here, Nathan, and every guest that comes on to our podcast, I ask them this here. Well, what's currently happening with the world? I want to know from you, what are your thoughts? What do you think is happening in our world with the current state, with racism, race, the Black Lives Matter movement, the police brutality? You have the president. What do you think of all of this in the coronavirus? What do you think of all of this that's happening in the world? What are your thoughts?
Basically 2020 in a whole.
Nutshell, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I personally don't like this year at all, but
Mm-mm.
I also don't like it because I feel like people are like overly privileged and like generally like this country is very rich, and it's just amazing that we're still like at home, you know, living our lives, indulging while the economy is kind of like shut down. That's just how much wealth we all got like bundled up and stuff. But you know, obviously like things like police brutality and the coronavirus are bad things, but especially the coronavirus, I think it's really like just blown out of proportion, and it's just, you know, it's comparable to the flu. It really is. And I really think it'd be just there just needs to be less worry in this world, less hate, just more tolerable of all views, you know, and just unless they like directly call out for genocide or just hatred of one another. But uh I think life is really good, honestly, and there's no evidence really support that your grandfather had it any better than you do. Like we got far more opportunities nowadays than any other point in history, except for like right at this moment when, you know, things are shut down because of the coronavirus. But it'll all get better. And you know, presidents come and go. I don't like any politician at all, and I like some less than others. But no president can really uh like I know hardcore Republicans and Democrats, like they just think the end of the world when somebody of the opposite party, you know, gets elected. And you know, throughout history, no president is going to like make it worse for everybody else. People don't have that power to be able to do that in this country. I mean, of course, they can change some things, but generally, your life is going to be the same if Donald Trump or Biden is the president. They're not going to have too much to influence on your life. And I just think like this a problem here in America is we just like let so much that's not even physically going around us influence our life, like sports especially too. You know, like people making such big deals out when their team loses and everything. You know, at the end of the day, that's just a game, you know. But I think like our system of like democracy is, or it's really a constitutional republic, but I think it's just set up fine, and I think the whole world is just like far more tolerable than it ever has been, and like people are good, and the world is overall good. I mean, not perfect, but generally people have like a moral compass and everything, unless you're a psychopath or whatever. And you know, some people are just unfixable, but most people, you know, can be led the right way. And I think more than anything, there just needs to be more efforts on people's behalfs rather than anything a school could even ever do. Well, definitely our schools could do a little better teaching on personal development and growth than they do. You definitely don't get any character from school. I wouldn't say that, but overall, I guess my outlook is pretty positive.
All right.
Did that answer the question, or was it just too much all over the place? That's
No,
part of my ADHD. Is I just go everywhere.
No. You answered it correctly. Yeah. You didn't went overboard with it. No.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, your thoughts?
None at this time. I feel like we all need a fresh. Actually, this whole year need a fresh start.
Yeah.
Starting next year because right now it's just going downhill from here.
Yeah. Well, there can definitely be debates and stuff, but I wish people would just debate more than argue. Like, just full on arguing about this stuff. Like, because everything you mentioned, like, what do you think about 2020, coronavirus, Black Lives Matter, police brutality, the presidential debate? Those are all highly controversial topics.
Right.
And it can get a rouse out of some people. And some people just love talking about it and, like, getting heated about it. But that's just, like, full-blown arguing, like, in the worst way you can do, rather than just like a formal debate and just like discussing ideas with people. Really, most of the time it's hard to, and it's almost impossible to influence somebody else and like change their way of thinking. So I think it's better for people to more than anything, rather than try to change how other people think, how to change, not necessarily change how they think, but maybe at least like see other people's views and everything. And then like, hey, like if you full-heartedly like understanded that and everything, you know, maybe some of the things you thought were wrong and you can change some of your opinions, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, there's never a right answer out there for a lot of these things. There's not a right answer.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you can just still develop your opinions and just your experience and everything.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, I have a last question for you, Nathan, here. And it's pretty just simple and easy. What do you think of this podcast here? That I have a podcast here. I am finally using my voice. I'm speaking up. What do you think of it? Am I doing a great job? What do you think of it? Of me finally speaking up now? What do you think?
You know, I honestly think it's real brave what you're doing, because like you didn't like speak it. I'm not trying to. I know that might offend you, like what I'm about to say, but you just didn't talk in high school. Unless called on by the teachers, and so like, no, your voice is never mentioned, or your name was never mentioned in like most people's conversations and stuff. Especially not in a bad way if it was, but you just like there just wasn't enough about you because you're so quiet. But I see that you know, like your podcast and stuff, like I think it's like growing, at least like more people are tuning in, even though it's like not many people actually really like intellectual conversations or stuff like this to begin with, and they rather just go, you know, move from thing to thing on TikTok or whatever. But and you probably know that, you probably like knew that you weren't going to get like millions of views and stuff like that. But if you post these on YouTube or whatever, but you got to start out somewhere. And and I think it kind of goes out of your comfort zone that you're probably doing this and showing your face like you are, and it's posting pictures of yourself smiling and singing, you know, because I don't even do that of myself. I'm self-conscious about that. So yeah, I think it's a big leap forward, and I like especially like talking with you on here. I haven't actually talked to you in almost 2 years, or a year and a half.
Yeah, since we been out of high school. Yeah, it's been a while.
So yeah, this is the first time I've actually heard your voice, like, or talking almost directly to you.
Yeah,
I've texted you since then, but yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I'm really glad I am doing this. Honestly, I really am, and I'm trying to like bring on some of my old friends as well. I'm in contact with trying to get Chandler on. I just really want him to come on to see like what do he think of this here. So yeah, so thank you for that, Nathan. Thank you for that. Really needed to hear that from one of my old classmates, because I haven't really heard any of them of what do they think of I'm doing now since we graduated from high school. So thank you so much for that.
You definitely got a hobby, and it seems to be definitely a constructive one. I mean, you aren't. I mean, it's nice to know that you aren't a heroin addict or something like that after high school. You know, people can definitely take turns for the worst. You know,
Yeah.
and you would never have suspected it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's. I guess it's a good time killer, but at the same time, I'm sorry, but at the same time, you're still getting something done. Sure, it's not just scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and all that. You're definitely developed a hobby here.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it shows that you at least like doing stuff, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you don't just like knock out your work and then like go do self-destructive behaviors, or at least like non-constructive behaviors, because like I said, this is constructive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the point of it. It's meant to be constructive at least.
hmm Absolutely. Yeah. This is my passion here. And once I graduated from high school, I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do now? Because uh, not going to be in school throughout my whole life. I'm not going to be able to see my friends how I used to be, interacting with them and talking with them on a daily basis. And I was like, oh crap, Damian, you got to do something because I have to do something because you got to find a new normal. You got to find a new, because this is my new life here. High school, that's my O. I will cherish those memories forever, but I have to find something to do. So I'm glad that I am doing something construction for this.
Yeah, some of those people who had it just so great in high school,
Mhm.
like me and you definitely did not have it. We definitely can't say we had it great. We can't say we had it bad either, I wouldn't say, but
Yeah.
you know, we weren't some top football player and all that,
Mhm.
getting all the attention and stuff, and
It's, yeah.
yeah. But
And,
some of those people who had it like real good back then, you know, they probably dwell every day on like how good it was, and like rather than moving their life past that point, high school is all they got.
mhm.
And and it, you know, probably sounds like uh I don't know what the correct word is, but I'm just gonna say it sounds wrong for me to say, I'm happy about that, because uh say like if you weren't a good person and stuff back in high school, but that's all you had for you and you can't develop past that, you know, and everybody else did, well, that's kind of ironic. You know, the
Mhm.
people that you're putting down, they moved past you. That's very ironic. And especially that you didn't know that that's like for a foreseeable future that's gonna happen. Like, like that's been discussed like for decades now, that uh the nerds are always the bosses and stuff, or generally. Mhm. And I even saw a study that less agreeable people, like I guess I get along with people, but I would say I'm less agreeable than like you might be, or say somebody like Josh Parks, who's like real charismatic and all that, and everybody likes him. That's what agreeableness. Uh,
Mhm.
Usually like more antisocial people, kind of like usually like CEOs and stuff. I think that's just what I heard. But despite your personality, despite who you are, really, you can still get up, you know, to a good status in life, regardless. You know,
Mhm.
and you can develop at any point in your life, really. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be as soon as you get out of high school, you got to do all this and this and this and this. It's not a rat race. I mean, we think of it as, but it's not.
Yeah.
We're not rats.
Mm-mm. No.
Mhm.
We're animals, but you're only really an animal if you just let your animalic animalistic behaviors take control of you, you know? And a lot
Mhm.
of bad things that we do are animalistic behaviors. It's like, what does an animal do? An animal really just thinks about itself rather than the good of the others. You know, an animal just like has its basic emotions, and you know, when you break it down on like what these bad people and these bullies do, that's kind of like what they just are. All they care about is like sex, or like a pushing just people aside and stuff like that, and food rather than like intellectual learning or community building. Because that's really what being human is about, is being able to surpass that.
Right.
That's not like the dog eats its own throw up and probably enjoys that crap, but you know, we definitely wouldn't. No sane person eats their own vomit.
No.
Or fecal matter.
No. Andrew, any last thoughts with my good friend Nathan?
No, not at all. Pleasure to meet you, Nathan. I had a great time, great conversation. You seem, you were a great guy,
I appreciate it.
as well. So
Yes.
Well,
So
I hope somebody learns something from this. You know, maybe when you're a teacher and all, you know, you got this podcast saved, and you know, you present it to a class or whatever,
yeah.
or at least maybe you bring me up or whatever. Because I don't know if I'll see you in person again.
Yeah. So thank you again, Nathan, for agreeing to come on to my podcast here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd try to come on some or again later.
All right.
Oh, you know what's cool? It's fall break. I don't got school or anything no more. I was thinking like, oh, I got this class tomorrow, but no, I don't. I got these next 2 days off.
Yeah. Fall break.
Yeah. I mean, I still got work, but you know, I can sleep in more.
Yeah.
So I appreciate having me on.
Yes, absolutely. And we would like to have you back on.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you again, Nathan, and take care of yourself. I will talk with you soon.
All right, and I'll try to text you maybe some suggestions I have for podcasts or whatever if I get any to mind.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Nathan. Take care.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Whoa.
well,
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I know we did not preach.
No.
But he did the preaching for us.
Yeah. Thank goodness, because I was like this close to almost, but he split it in for me. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
He did the preaching for us, because there are some things I want to say or want to preach about, but Damian actually warned me, so I had to hold back for just a little bit here. Like I said, Nathan, man, there are no words. So at this time, of course, we will bring back Nathan later down either next season or in season 6. You just have to tune in and find out when he will come back. At this time, I know we got like 8 minutes left, so we're going ahead and knock out announcements out the way.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. So yeah, let's do announcements real quickly.
So at this time, as you know, when this episode comes out, which will be, I think,
Tuesday, actually.
My brand new season of Let's FRETT Education is already out. So make sure you listen to that episode, because I do have a special guest on there that y'all may know about. So make sure you tune in for that one. And also just announced today, I will share my personal experience about anxiety, depression, that dark road later down the season, as well as sharing my experience with foster care, So make sure you stay tuned to that episode as well. A exclusive episode of Let's FRETT About Education. So make sure you tune into that episode as well.
Yes, make sure you guys tune in for that exclusive episode of Let's FRETT About Education. So moving on to me, This is the month of October, and um, and this is National Bullying Month. And the next two episodes of Future Educators Talk, me and KJ, we'll give you guys some facts, some information about bullying, what you guys need to all know because it needs to end. Just like race and racism, it needs to end bullying. It does. So make sure you tune in for for the next two episodes where me and Andrew discuss it all with you. Also, make sure you tune in for that.
You mean KJ? You mean KJ? You said me. You said me. Yeah.
KJ, you guys, because
this is what happens when we be on the broadcast so long. But I do want to add something to that since you said the bullying episode. If you have not watched the part 1 of the bullying episode back in season 1, where I did an episode, make sure you watch that episode or listen or watch that episode. But
then also we did a part 2 in season 2 where I share my thoughts. So make sure you guys check it out. I can't believe I just said that. I thought I said KJ.
I'm not gonna be here.
Because he is on break. He is on break. So.
Taking an 8 episode leave. It's Damian and KJ. In case you have not, I'm taking an 8 episode leave, so I'll be back in episode 18. That's about it. Oh, brand new opening too, starting this episode.
Yes. With this episode here. I hope you guys like that opening.
I hope y'all do.
Yeah.
I hope y'all do. I have not listened to it yet, but I think he already has. I hope y'all do. I hope I'm gonna like it, but I've already listened to it, so I cannot wait to listen to it when it comes out.
Yeah, very powerful, and you guys may recognize a voice who is introducing us, so you may recognize this person's voice. So I'm just going to stop it there. You guys will have to see what that is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So real quick, we got 4 minutes left. Damian Talks Education season 2 premieres in November, and that's going to be the last season of that, but I will still be doing episodes for that. Just follow me to stay up to date with that. My new podcast, Let's Talk About Race with Damian, premieres in January, so you guys stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'm so very excited about that, so stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. And speaking of January of 2021, brand new season of Let's Fight About Education comes in July of 2021. So 2 powerful podcasts debuting in 2021. So y'all better
Yes, you guys make sure you stay tuned. Tune in for that. Please tune in. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with this episode of Future Educators Talk with my good friend Nathan McAdory. Great episode. We will have him back on you guys later on. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast, you comment below, you share this out with your friends, you leave a review everywhere, because we are available everywhere on podcast platforms. Make sure you guys follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They're in the description down below because I'm not going to say it. And tell your friends about our show as well. Please do.
Spread the word. Please spread the word.
Because we are currently in our 4th season, and we're still kicking it.
Got renewed for 4 more seasons. Actually, 4 more seasons.
So we're going to be doing this for quite some time. And even when we do that talk show, we're not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere.
Don't get me started on that, please. Please do not get me started on that.
So thank you guys again, and we will see you. Well, I and KJ, we will see you on a new episode of Future Educators Talk, you guys.
And I will see y'all in episode 18 when I return from my 8-episode break.
Yes. So until then, you guys, take care of yourself, be blessed, and to wear your mask. Please do.
What's going on, everybody? It's KJ here, letting you know that if you have any questions or concerns about Future Educators Talk, stories to share, feedback to make our podcast better, reactions to the topics that we discuss, jokes to tell, or you would like someone for the co-host to interview, please let us know by direct messaging us on Instagram at Future Educators Talk, emailing us at futureeducatorstalk@gmail.com, or sending in a voice message to us by going to anchor.fm/futureedtalk. Click on the message tab to where you can record your question to us. Once again, we thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support, and we cannot wait for you to tune in for season 4.
Don't just listen to Future Educators Talk on your smartphone. Continue the conversation online. Like us on Facebook. Be a part of our conversation by telling us what you think of our episodes. Join us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content. Follow us on Twitter to stay up to date with what's happening on our podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss future episodes. And beyond, it's you who keeps Future Educators Talk going. So like, comment, share, subscribe, review, and connect everywhere with us you get social. So let's listen together.